So I just keep thinking like everything that Krishna hands me is exactly supposed to be in my life, and I'm so super grateful for it. And it just makes it so much sweeter, like being in community with you and with all these lovely beings who are listening to us. And just knowing that this is a vibration that we're sending out to the world makes me feel, fills my heart, fills my heart with joy.
What is your path to Dharma?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shay.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to our Srimad Bhagavatam study. We are feeling good tonight. It's been kind of a wild energy this week in the universe, in our lives.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but I keep coming back to Krishna every single time that I feel overwhelmed. And I just have spent the week literally just laying in his arms and hearing his words and feeling his love and his comfort. And I'm so appreciative to have him in my life. And we were talking about all the things that we've had to let go of and all the things that have left our life to be able to allow this beautiful vibration in, this beautiful love of Sri Krishna into our life. And um, even though we can see the benefit of losing things and having challenges, it's still, while you're in it, you feel it. It's still hard to go through.
Well, and you still have
Yeah.
to process the human emotions behind it. I sent you
Yeah.
something from the Yoga Sutras yesterday that just, it was such a good reminder for me to not identify with like the body, the mind, the external circumstances. Like I'm a pure spirit soul. I'm an absolute pure spirit soul who's come here to experience these things. And so it's like it's not me. It's not the self that this is happening to. Like this is the body Shay that's experiencing these things. And what am I here for is like to know the absolute truth. I want to get right into it because I just opened up to a verse that I'd like to read before we jump into where we are at. Um, of course, like I opened to an exact thing that I needed to read. So, before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasudev, the author. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact.
That's good.
So, where I turn to is Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 10, and it says, life's desires should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, since a human being is meant for since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth. Nothing else should be the goal of one's work.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like all these external circumstances that happen in our life, they're just an opportunity to know the absolute truth.
I love how
And
Spruce affirmed that. I hope you guys could hear that.
always does. Life's
Beautiful.
desires should never be directed towards sense gratification.
Yeah, I've been reading that today too. In the Gita, there's an entire chapter on that.
Oh, yes.
It's talking a lot about that. So we are now in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto One, starting chapter 11. This is all new material for us. Neither of us have read anything else forward at this point. So I am excited to get going and just see where the story goes, just that alone. But I'm feeling this week the power of this transformation that's happening in our
Oh,
lives. I'm really
gosh.
feeling it this week. I've been
Yeah.
obsessively drawing Krishna's face. I've been dreaming. It's been kind of wild how intense the energy has felt. So I'm feeling it.
What's really cool is because you have been kind of foreseeing the astrology. It's like we've known this is coming, but to be really in it
Ugh,
is like, wow, it's a different type of experience to know it and then to, like, actually feel it.
yeah.
And, yeah, it's so interesting. I'm so grateful for the Srimad Bhagavatam to be kind of, like, holding down my energy and reminding me of these things. Really all the ancient texts, really all of them.
Yes.
The sutras, the Gita, the Srimad. I mean, to the viewers, thank you so much for your like, everything. I'm
Yeah.
feeling really connected, and really, like, in my dharma right now, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy, right? Like,
Yeah, it's definitely not. And we feel like we're on an island for sure out here. There's no temple to go to. There's no I recently went to this giant chain bookstore. And if you're not in America, we have these giant bookstores. There's thousands, tens of thousands of books. I won't say the name of the chain, but it's a massive bookstore. And I was wanting to find a copy of the Mahabharata. And I was like, well, let me see if they have one. Let me go over to the religious section. So I head toward the religious section. I find 6, 8, 10 literal rows of Bibles. There's an entire youth Bible section. There's an entire section of commentary, that much commentary, yet even past that. And then I find my way over to the Hindu section, which I'm going to put a picture in this video. I sent you the
yeah,
picture. It's actually kind of hilarious what I found in the
mhm.
Hindu book section. You'll see there a copy of Ram Dass. I'm going to look at the picture on my phone so I can describe it right now. Be Here Now by Ram Dass um, is starts the stack of Hindu books. Where is it? Where is it? I was, like, kind of, like, both laughing and sad
Right?
because it was like, "Wow, this is truly what I have to this is, like, the largest bookstore I can find."
We have to find somewhere that specializes in this type of
We
thing.
do. Okay, here it is. Here's the books. Okay. Ram Dass, and then I have 2 copies of the Upanishads, which I bought 1, so now there's 1 left.
Yeah,
Some random New York day trips book that somebody smashed in there. 3 copies of the Gita from Iswan.
yeah,
Another different author, Stephen Bhagavad Gita, Stephen Mitchell, and then the Quran. And then there was a second Quran. You're also seeing the entire Muslim section.
right,
So
right.
that's it. That's literally it. So sometimes it feels very kind of crazy to be experiencing such powerful, spiritual energies and
Yeah.
having such intense visions and dreams of Krishna. And his presence is so intense in my life right now. And all of the things we're reading are so fascinating to us, so illuminating to us. But we are kind of here alone doing it. And it does feel a little bit wild.
We're just beginning. We're
I
just
know.
beginning.
I know. Anyway, we thank you for being here with us. Deeply thank you so
Mm,
much
mhm.
because you're teaching us every single day. So thank you so much with your comments and everything. All right, chapter 11, Lord Krishna's entrance into Dwaraka.
So Krishna has left.
Yes.
Um, where was he before? What is the name of this?
Hastinapur?
Yes, he was
Am
in
I saying?
Hastinapur. He
Hastinapur.
left to head to Dwarka.
Yeah.
He's now entering Dwarka.
Yes.
Sutta Goswami said, upon reaching the border of his most prosperous metropolis, known as the country of Anartas, Dwarka, the Lord sounded his auspicious conch shell, heralding his arrival and apparently pacifying the dejection of the inhabitants.
How exciting would that have been?
Can you
Like
imagine?
I know, right? Like, he's gone, and suddenly his conch shell goes off, and everybody must have just like ran into the
Krishna!
streets. I can see it. Text 2, the white and fat, bold conch shell being gripped by the hand of Lord Krishna and sounded by him appeared to be reddened by the touch of his transcendental lips. It seemed that a white swan was playing in the stems of red lotus flowers. Beautiful.
Um,
The
text
citizen
3.
The citizens of Dwaraka, having heard that sound which threatens fear personified in the material world, began to run towards him fast, just to have a long desired audience with the Lord, who is the protector of all devotees, just as we predicted. All of the inhabitants of Dwarka run into the streets and start running toward him. Of course they do. Of course they do.
Yeah, of course. And it seems like, I mean, just reading a tiny bit of the purport right below it, it says that all the souls who lived in Dwarka were liberated.
Ah,
And
okay.
so it's saying, like, having heard that sound which threatens fear personified in the material world,
Yeah.
they began to run towards him fast. They were beyond that.
Yeah, right. They were beyond excited. I feel that.
Texts 4 to 5. The citizens arrived before the Lord with their respective presentations, offering them to the fully satisfied and self sufficient one, who, by his own potency, incessantly supplies others. These presentations were like the offerings of a lamp to the sun. Yet the citizens began to speak in ecstatic language to receive the Lord, just as wards welcome their guardian and father.
Yeah, what can they give him? Really
Right?
nothing. But you can see it. I just can imagine. Just
Mm-hmm.
we just left the scene of the women just crying and just fainting and like gossiping and talking about Krishna as he was leaving the last city. So even if these are all like self-realized souls, you can still feel their excitement and energy at his arrival. And
Mm-hmm.
even knowing there's nothing I can give him, but you can see it just running up to him and calling his name out, which he loves.
Mm-hmm.
Text 6.
The citizens said, O Lord, you are worshipped by all the demigods like Brahma, the four sanas, and even the King of Heaven. You are the ultimate rest for those who are really aspiring to achieve the highest benefit of life. You are the supreme transcendental Lord, and inevitable time cannot exert its influence upon you. O Creator of the universe, you are our Mother, well wisher, Lord, Father, spiritual master, and worshipable deity. By following in your footsteps, we have become successful in every respect. We pray, therefore, that you continue to bless us with your mercy. Oh, it is our good luck that we have come again today under your protection by your presence, for your lordship rarely visits even the
The denizens.
denizens. What does that mean?
It's like the citizens.
For your lordship rarely visits even the denizens of heaven. Now it is possible for us to look into your smiling face, which is full of affectionate glances. We can now see your transcendental form, full of auspiciousness.
Just like we were talking about the characters surrounding Krishna in these stories, imagine the beings that got to live in Dwarka and witness him and see even just the glance of him, even just a glance of him. Beautiful.
Text 9, do you want to take it away?
Text 9. O lotus-eyed Lord, wherever you may go away to Mathura, Vrindava, or Hastinapur to meet your friends and relatives, every moment of your absence seems like a million years. O infallible one, at that time our eyes become useless, as if bereft
Mm.
of sun. I mean, this almost also speaks to like the spiritual darkness we go through when we don't have that connection to the divine. It does
Mm.
it feels like the sun is gone,
Mm-hmm.
So every moment that we don't have that connection to the divine, it does slightly feel like that.
Yeah.
And of course, we know it's not possible to leave Krishna's presence because he's in everything and he
Mm-hmm.
is everything, but yet our human bodies feel the absence.
Mm-hmm.
Text 10. O Master, if you live abroad all the time, then we cannot look at your attractive face, whose smiles vanquish all our sufferings. How can we exist without your presence? Upon hearing their speeches, the Lord, who is very kind to the citizens and the devotees, entered the city of Dwarka and acknowledged all their greetings by casting his transcendental glance over them.
Mm.
Ah, again, it's like, I faint. I fall to the
Mm-hmm.
ground. I faint just at the glance. Beautiful. I mean, it's like, again, I say again, if we don't have the connection of the divine, if we aren't able to see and even notice what's in front of us in the form of whatever Krishna, however Krishna is appearing, it's like it does feel hard to exist in the world. It feels pointless a little bit. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is the point of all this? Why am I here? And I know I've talked before about being in a spiritual darkness for a period of time. I was thinking about actually how long it was, and it was actually 16 years from the time I left my last kind of faith journey before I found this. And all of the different exiles of time that people that we're reading about go through, where they get exiled into the spirit, into the forest or wherever, into the spiritual darkness. So I feel that. And I feel like coming back into a connection with the divine feels this beautiful. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
ah, oh, yeah. I remember that blissful feeling. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that peace in my heart. And it feels like just so delicious and divine. And I just feel the people in this verse.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, they're just like, ah, he's back. Never leave again. Like, please never leave again.
Mm-hmm.
Text 11. Do you want to pick up there?
As Bhogavati, the capital of Nagaloka, is protected by the Nagas, so was Dwaraka protected by the descendants of Vrishni. Bhoja, Madhu, Dasara, Ara, Kakura, Andaka, etc., who were as strong as Lord Krishna. The city of Dwarkapuri was filled with the opulences of all seasons. There were hermitages, orchards, flower gardens, parks, and reservoirs of water breeding lotus flowers all over.
Wow, what must that city have looked like even?
I'd
They
love to
say,
see a painting of that.
right? Well, they
Sure,
say they
there's,
found it like underwater. There's, you can see,
yeah,
I've watched a
some.
couple documentaries about it.
Mm,
Um, okay, text 13. The city gateway, the household doors, and festooned arches along the roads were all nicely decorated with festive signs like plantain trees and mango leaves, all to welcome the Lord. Flags, garlands, and painted signs and slogans all combined to
hmm
shade the sunshine. Yes,
mm.
everyone was
Of
so
course you
excited.
would.
Yes, they brought their offerings out to him.
Sure.
100%. They were so excited. The highways, subways, lanes, markets, and public meeting places were all thoroughly cleansed and then moistened with scented water. And to welcome the Lord, fruits, flowers, and unbroken seeds were strewn
Mm.
everywhere, just
What
to
that
make this that
celebration must have
beautiful.
been like.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. Text 15. In each and every door of the residential houses, auspicious things like curd, unbroken fruits, sugar cane, and full water
Yeah.
pots, and articles for worship, incense, and candles were all displayed.
I mean,
Yeah.
just think about all this abundance that's like happening.
Yes.
The full water pots, like
Yeah.
everybody has what they need.
Yeah. Right. Beautiful. Text 16 and 17. On hearing that the most dear Krishna was approaching Dwarka Dhamma, magnanimous Vasudev, Akura, Ugrasena, Balarama, the superhumanly powerful, Pradyumna, Kared, Karudsedna,
Cardesna.
Karudesna, and Samba, the son of Jambavati, all extremely happy, abandoning resting, sitting, and dining. Okay, sorry. Thank you for being patient for me working through all those names. So everyone gets up. Everybody has got their best stuff that they're offering to Lord Krishna. I love how when you come before the Lord, you want to show him your best.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that.
Sure.
It's that. And all these
Text,
other people are gathering as well.
yes. Text 18. They hastened towards the Lord on chariots with Brahmins bearing flowers. Before them were elephants, emblems of good fortune. Conch shells and bugles were sounded, and Vedic hymns were chanted. Thus they offered their respects, which were saturated with affection. At the same time, many hundreds of well-known prostitutes began to proceed in various vehicles. They were all very eager to meet the Lord, and their beautiful faces were decorated with dazzling earrings, which enhanced the beauty of their foreheads.
Um, okay, that came out of nowhere on me slightly.
Yeah, the prostitutes.
Okay,
Let's keep reading.
let's keep reading. Text 20. Everyone,
Ex uh,
everyone, okay, if everyone is self-realized, then so are the prostitutes. I just want to point that out.
sure,
So there's
yeah.
something happening there with that. Text 20.
Go ahead.
Expert dramatists, artists, dancers, singers, historians, genealogists, and learned speakers all gave their respective contributions, being inspired by the superhuman pastimes of the Lord. Thus they proceeded on and on. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you can just picture like these scenes in movies you've watched where it's like the arrival of the king and like
Yeah.
the torches are all lit and the people come out and it's like the throngs are there. I love this. I love how Dwarka has dramatists, artists, dancers, singers, historians, all of the people he's describing, all the citizens. Text 20
Yeah.
Text 21. Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, approached them and offered due honor and respect to each and every one of the friends, relatives, citizens, and all others who came to receive and welcome him.
Mm. I have such a beautiful image in my head.
Yeah, same.
Text 22. The Almighty Lord greeted everyone present by bowing his head, exchanging greetings, embracing, shaking hands, looking and smiling, giving assurances and awarding benedictions, even to the lowest in the rank. Then the Lord personally entered the city accompanied by elderly relatives and invalid Brahmins with their wives, all offering benedictions and singing the glories of the Lord. Others also praised the glories of the Lord.
Wow, this is a scene.
Yeah.
This is a scene. Okay, text.
Text 24. Go ahead.
When Lord Krishna passed over the public roads, all the ladies from the respectable families of Dwarka went up to the roofs of their palaces just to have a look at the Lord. They considered this to be the greatest festival. So
Uh-huh.
just like the women were gathering on the
In
rooftop as he was
Hastapur.
leaving, they're
Yeah.
gathering up on the rooftops to see him come in. Oh yeah, this is their favorite day. This is the best day. Text 25. The inhabitants of Dwarka were regularly accustomed to look upon the reservoir of all beauty, the infallible Lord, yet they were never satiated. No, you
Right.
can never stop looking at him. I mean, I just like did a little painting of him that I couldn't stop staring at for 6 hours. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to capture it. 26. The Lord's chest is the abode of the goddess of fortune. His moon-like face is the drinking vessel for eyes which hanker after all that is beautiful. His arms are the resting places for the administrative demigods, and his lotus feet are the refuge of pure devotees who never talk or sing of any subject except his lordship. Wow. I need to read that before I start to paint. That's like
Yeah.
very inspiring. I just love the
Yes.
thought of that.
His moon-like face is the drinking vessels for the eyes.
That's like so full of symbolism, so full of
Mhm.
like beautiful language. And
Mhm.
um, it reminds me of when Krishna is talking in the Bhagavad Gita when he's talking about, the best of things,
Yeah.
as of the, trees, I am the fig tree. Of whatever, I
Mm.
am the.
Yes.
It's that.
Yes.
It's that.
Yes. Text 27. As the Lord passed along the public road of Dwarka, his head was protected from the sunshine by a white umbrella. White feathered fans moved in semicircles, and showers of flowers fell upon the road. His yellow garments and garlands of flowers made it appear as if a dark cloud were surrounded simultaneously by sun, moon, lightning, and rainbows.
Wow. I want a picture of that. Has somebody drawn that? There has to be a painting of that.
You would think so. You would think so.
Wow.
Text 28. After entering the house of his father, he was embraced by the mothers present, and the Lord offered his obeisances unto them by placing his head at their feet. The mothers were headed by Devaki, his real mother,
Devaki.
Devaki.
Devaki. His real mother. Right. Okay. So they're there. Text 29. The mothers, after embracing their son, sat him on their laps. Due to pure affection, milk sprang from their breasts. They were overwhelmed with delight, and the tears from their eyes wetted the Lord. They grabbed him and just
Mm.
hugged him and cried. Yes. Beautiful. It's tearing me up a little bit, actually, thinking about it. Um, Sorry, that's kind of came out a little fast. It's just like the thought of like even like a long lost relative or someone
Mm-hmm.
that you love, like seeing them and like putting your arms around them
Mm-hmm.
feels that. I feel that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's beautiful. Text 30. Thereafter the Lord entered his palaces, which were perfect to the fullest extent. His wives lived in them, and they numbered over 16,000.
Wow. We were just talking about those wives last week. Amazing. How
Yes.
amazing. You know, they're so excited that he's home, even though he
Which I,
doesn't leave them.
yeah, I was just about to say, but he's never
But
left.
still, this is an occasion. Okay. Text 31.
The
The qu-
queens of Lord Sri Krishna rejoiced within their minds to see their husband home after a long period abroad. The queens got up at once from their seats in meditations. As was socially customary, they covered their faces shyly and looked about coyly.
I love this whole scene. I don't know why it's making me cry. I just don't know. It just is because again, I see this. It's like
Yeah,
first of all, he must personally be overwhelming, just the presence of him.
yeah, yeah,
And again, I even just think about somebody that you're excited to see and the overwhelming feelings that you have about it. So, I feel them. Text, where are
yes.
we at? Text
32.
32.
Do you want to go ahead?
The insuperable ecstasy was so strong that the queens, who were shy, first embraced the Lord in the innermost recesses of their hearts.
Oh.
Then they embraced him visually, and then they sent their sons to embrace him, which is equal to personal embracing. But oh, chief amongst the Burgas, though they tried to restrain their feelings, they inadvertently shed tears. I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally crying
Sure.
right now on their behalf. Yes, they did. They tried not to, but they did. They could not
Mm-hmm.
help it. They could not help it. Okay.
Yes.
Text 33.
Although Lord Sri Krishna was constantly by their sides, as well as exclusively alone, his feet appeared to them to be newer and newer. The goddess of fortune, although by nature always restless and moving, could not quite the Lord's feet.
Could not quit.
Quit. Could not quit the Lord's feet. So what woman can be detached from those feet, having once taken shelter of them?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. The goddess of fortune, although by nature always restless and moving, could not quit the Lord's feet.
Yeah. Yes. Always giving him fortune nonstop.
Yeah.
Text 34. The Lord was pacified after killing those kings who were burdensome to the earth. They were puffed up with their military strength, their horses, elephants, chariots, infantry, etc. He himself was not a party in the fight. He simply created hostility between the
Mm.
powerful administrators, and they fought amongst themselves. He was like the wind, which causes friction between bamboos and so sparks a fire.
Ah,
Uh, yeah, I felt that happen to me. How about it? Like, have you
yes.
felt him stir up a like a
Yes.
situation on you and you're like, "Whoa, that turned, that heated up."
Ah,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. I really love that image.
Yeah, same, same. Text 35. That supreme personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, appeared on this planet by his internal potency and enjoyed himself amongst competent women as if he were engaging in mundane
Yeah,
affairs. Ah, he just like, I'm gonna just like hang around. Will you get my slippers?
yeah.
Will you go grab me something to eat? Like,
Uh-huh.
I love it. I love it. And he enjoyed it because remember, he's the supreme enjoyer. I swear, I'm
Yes. Yes,
still
he
working on a logo
is.
on that. So I love that. He just wants to lounge around his house. Like the thought and the sight of him just like shuffling around his house in slippers and a robe. I know that's not it, but like amazing. Okay, text 36.
Although the queen's beautiful smiles and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, and all they could conquer Cupid himself by making him give up his bow in frustration, and although even the tolerant Shiva could fall victim to them, still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, they could not agitate the senses of the Lord.
Oh, he of no attachment to material nature,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
The common materialistic conditioned souls speculate that the Lord is one of them. Out of ignorance, they think that the Lord is affected by matter, although he is unattached. We do personify him.
Yeah,
We
for
do,
sure.
for sure.
Mhm.
And I get what they're saying here. Like, we we put a human body around the Lord, okay? And even though he comes and he inhabits one, it's still really hard to wrap your mind around the idea of God being everything and like the universe, even the size of the universe and like eternity. So I
Yeah.
feel like this is why we personify God. This is
Mhm.
why we think he's affected by matter because
Yeah.
we cannot picture not being because we're so in it.
Yeah.
Text 38.
Go ahead.
This is the divinity of the personality of Godhead. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord do not become influenced by the material qualities.
Mm,
If only.
right?
If only. Text 39. Oh, this is the end of this chapter. The
Mhm.
simple and delicate women truly thought that Lord Krishna, their beloved husband, followed them and was dominated by them. They were unaware of the extent of the glories of their husband, as atheists are unaware of him as the supreme controller. I mean, how could you how could you really deal otherwise?
Right.
To be
Yeah.
honest. To be honest, how could you? And I think I know what is being said here, that they, definitely saw him as he was, and he was glorious, I'm sure. But still, to even get yourself to have an intimate interaction with him, you would have to personify him down to, um, forgetting that this is God? That you're
Yeah.
dealing with, that you're talking to, that you're married to, you know what I mean? You would have to be able to even just handle the energy, you would think. So,
Mm.
I get that. I loved this chapter. So good.
So it's like a daydream. I just
Yeah.
that whole thing. I
Coming
love
back to
the
his
energetic
family and just
nature.
everybody's it definitely touched my heart. Sorry for getting all
Yeah.
weepy on everyone there for a second.
Oh, don't apologize.
But we're gonna keep going on to chapter 12. Okay, so to chapter 12, the birth of Emperor Pariksit. As we took a little tiny break there, I just read the first page. I didn't go beyond that, but basically, we're going to, now that a lot of the story has kind of been forwarded a little bit, we are going to
Mhm.
circle back to the sages.
Right.
And the sages have heard all these things, and now they want to go back to the story that was originally asked, the question that was originally asked about Emperor Pariksit, as in, why would you do this? Why would you give all of your things away and go sit on the bank of the river? So
Mhm.
here we are in chapter 12, Srimad Bhagavatam, text 1. The sage, Sanaka, said, the womb of Uttara, mother of Maharaja Pariksit, was spoiled by the dreadful and invincible Brahmastra weapon released
Mm.
by Ashvatthama. But Maharaja Pariksit was saved by the Supreme Lord. Do you remember how he like put his
Yes.
energy and he saved him?
Yes.
So, how was the great emperor Pariksit, who was highly intelligent and a great devotee, born in that womb? How did his death take place, and what did he achieve after his death?
Mhm.
Okay, so
Do, 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 do.
here we're about to go. Text 3. We all respectfully want to hear about him,
Mhm.
to whom Sukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge. Please speak on this matter. Say that again. We all respectfully want to hear about him, meaning Pariksit, to whom Sukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge. Please speak on this matter. Okay.
Yep.
I'd read that twice to myself.
Yep. Because he was sitting on the banks of the Ganges
Right. Yes. I'm trying to
and
figure out, like, where are we? All right.
Sukadeva Goswami came and imparted the Srimad upon him.
Yeah. Okay. You pick up text 4.
Sri Gutta Goswami said, Emperor Yudhisthira administered generously to everyone during his reign. He was exactly like his father. He had no personal ambition and was freed from all sorts of sense gratification because of his continuous service unto the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. News even reached the celestial planets about Maharaja Yudhisthira's worldly
Wow.
possessions, the sacrifices by which he would attain a better destination, his queen, his stalwart brothers, his extensive land, his sovereignty over the planet Earth, and his fame, etc. O Brahmins, the opulence of the king was so enchanting that the denizens of heaven aspired for it. But because he was absorbed in the service of the Lord, nothing could satisfy him except the Lord's service. Wow.
Let
He's
me
doing
pick.
big work here on Earth.
Yeah, he definitely is. Text 7. O son of Sinaka, when the child Pariksit, the great fighter, was in the womb of his mother Uttara and was suffering from the burning heat of the Brahmastra, thrown by Asvatthama, he could observe the Supreme Lord coming to him. He could observe him.
Surely.
Sure he could. In the womb, of course he could. He, the Lord, was only thumb high, but he was all transcendental. He had a very beautiful blackish infallible body. He wore a dress of lightning yellow and a helmet of blazing gold. Thus he was seen by the child. Okay, wow, that's crazy. Okay, so he's describing this vision he had of Krishna while he was in the womb. And he's saying
Yes.
Krishna was
Was
only
only thumb high.
high, but he was transcendental. That's crazy. He had a beautiful blackish infallible body. He wore a dress of lightning yellow, a helmet of blazing gold. Amazing. He was seen by the child. The Lord was enriched with 4 hands, earrings of molten gold, and eyes blood red with fury. As he loitered
Mm.
about, his club constantly encircled him like a shooting star. So, okay, basically, this is what's happening in the womb when he covers with his energy. He shows up in the
Yeah.
womb like this transcendental person being with 4 hands, earrings of molten gold, and blood red eyes with fury. I love this. Text 10. The Lord was thus engaged in vanquishing the radiation of the Brahmastra, just as the sun evaporates a drop of dew. He was observed by the child, who thought about who he was. I bet.
Sure.
Well, thus being
Sure.
observed by the child, the supreme Lord personality of Godhead, the super soul of everyone, and the protector of the righteous, who stretches in all directions and who is unlimited by time and space, disappeared at once. Boom. There he
In
went.
and out. In and out.
Yep. Thereupon, when all the good signs of the zodiac gradually evolved, the heir apparent of Pandu, who would be exactly like him in prowess, took birth.
Mm.
Nice. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Text 13. King Yudhisthira, who was very satisfied with the birth of Maharaja Pariksit, had the purifactory process of birth performed. Learned Brahmanas, headed by Damaya, Damya, and Kirpa, recited auspicious hymns. Text 14. Upon the birth of a son, the king, who knew how, where, and when charity should be given, gave gold, land, villages, elephants, horses, and good food grains to the Brahmanas.
Mm.
The learned Brahmanas, who were very satisfied with the charities of the king, addressed him as the chief amongst the Purus and informed him that his son was certainly in the line of descent from the Purus. Okay, so there's like a celebration, like the child's
Yeah.
born, the baby's born, the kingdom is celebrating, everybody's celebrating,
Yeah.
and
Well, they know
even
he's the next heir.
yeah, they know he's the heir, right? So they're gifting the citizens like food, and it's probably another amazing celebration.
Yes, it seems like it.
In text 16, the Brahmana said, "This spotless son has been restored by the all powerful and all pervasive Lord Vishnu, the personality of Godhead, in order to oblige you. He was saved when he was doomed to be destroyed by an irresistible supernatural weapon.
Mm.
For this reason, this child will be well known in the world as one who is protected by the personality of Godhead. O most fortunate one, there is no doubt that this child will become a first class devotee and will be qualified with all good qualities."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you would think so.
Right. His first experience before even leaving the womb, or one of his first experiences, is Lord Sri Krishna.
Yeah.
Took me 5 years to
Yeah.
find him.
Right? 53. Text 18. Go ahead on text 18.
The good king Yudhisthira inquired, "O great souls, will he become as saintly a king, as pious in every name, and as famous and glorified in his achievements, as others who appeared in this great royal family?" The learned Brahmin said, "O son of Pritha, this child shall be exactly like King Ikshvaku, son of Manu, in maintaining all those who are born. And as for following the Brahminical
Brahm-
principles,
Brahmanical, maybe?
Brahm,
Brahmanical? I'm not sure.
principles, especially
Brahmanical?
in being true to his promise, he shall be exactly like Rama, the personality of Godhead, the son of Maharaja Dasartha." So yeah, he's going to be known and famous and opulent, just as the kings before him in his line. This child will be a munificent.
Munificent? Wow, there's a word.
Munificent.
Munificent.
I don't know what that means.
Probably fabulous. I don't know. Somebody can tell us. Munificent, donor of charity, and protector of the surrendered. Like the famous King Sibi of the Usinara country, and he will expand the name and fame of his family, like Bharata, the son of Maharaja Dusyanta. Sorry, I took that over. Text 21, go
That's
ahead.
fine. No, you keep going.
Amongst great bowmen, this child will be good as Arjuna. He will be as irresistible as fire and as insurpassable as the ocean. So
How?
they're starting to like do prophecy about him,
Yeah.
pretty much. Text 22. This child will be as strong as a lion and as worthy as a shelter as the Himalaya mountains. He will be forbearing like the earth and as tolerant as his parents. Wow. Nice. Text 23. This child will be like his grandfather, Yudhishthir, or Brahma in equanimity. Equanimity. Wow, the words.
Equanimity.
Thank you. Equanimity of mind. He will be munificent, like the Lord of Kalaisa Hill, Siva. And he will be the resort of everyone, like the supreme personality of Godhead, Narayan,
Narayan.
Narayan, who is even the shelter of the goddess of fortune. Ah, that-
Wow.
it's pretty amazing. But we know he is. We know he does turn out to be that stuff. Text 24.
This child will be almost as good as Lord Sri Krishna by following him in his footsteps. In magnanimity, he will become as great a king as Rantideva. And in religion, he will be like Maharaja Yayati. Which to us, it's like, I don't know necessarily
Yeah,
the
I
names
know.
of these people, but
Yeah.
I understand the grandness that's being
Yes.
expressed.
Yes. Yes.
Text 25. This child will be like Bali Maharaja in patience, a staunch devotee of Lord Krishna, like Prahlada Maharaja, a performer of many asvademas, horse sacrifices, and a follower of the old and experienced men. This child will be the father of the kings who will be like sages. For world's peace and for the sake of religion, he will be the chastiser of the uh, chastiser? Yeah,
Mhm.
of the upstarts and the quarrelsome. So almost in the same way as Krishna, right?
Yeah. Right. Text 27. After hearing about his death, which will be caused by the bite of a snake bird sent by the son of a Brahmana. He will get himself freed from all material attachment and surrender unto the
Mm.
personality of Godhead, taking shelter of him.
So again, somebody who knows their death or their death is planned.
Yeah.
Sure. After inquiring about proper self-knowledge from the son of Vyasudev, who will be a great philosopher, he will renounce all material attachment and achieve a life of fearlessness. Thus, those who were expert in astrological knowledge and in performance of the birth ceremony instructed King Yudhisthira about the future history of his child. Then, being sumptuously
Hmm.
remunerated, they all returned to their respected homes.
I was just looking up Krishna's birth chart this afternoon.
What did you see? I'd be so
Oh,
we
it's a
gotta do, like, a
lot.
whole
It's a whole thing. If it's like astrological language, so there's no point even saying it, but of
that's, like, a whole
course,
separate episode.
yeah, that's a whole separate thing. Okay, text 30. So his son would become famous in the world as Pariksit because he would be the examiner, it says, Pariksit, examiner, because he would come to examine all human beings in his search after that personality whom he saw before his
Mm,
birth. Thus he would come to constantly contemplate him.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
And twice now they've mentioned zodiac and astrology. So it's like even going back so far, those things were so important to them and kind of determining the future of what was to come.
Yeah,
That's cool. Text 31. As the moon in its waxing fortnight develops day after day, so the royal prince Pariksit very soon developed luxuriantly under the care and full facilities of his guardian grandfather. So he's being like primed, loved
yeah,
upon to be created into this thing that they've foreshadowed upon
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Just at this time, King Yudhisthira was considering performing a horse sacrifice to get freed from his sins and cured from fighting with kinsmen. But he became anxious to get some wealth, for there were no surplus funds outside of fines and tax collection. So at the time that Parikshit's being born, Yudhisthira was considering performing a horse sacrifice.
Seems like it, because remember, he's pretty worried about the karma that he's collected in the war, and he brought this up to Krishna before.
Mhm.
Text 33. Understanding the hearty wishes of the king, his brothers, as advised by the infallible Lord Krishna, collected sufficient riches from the north, left by King Maruta. By those riches, the king could procure the ingredients for 3 horse sacrifices. Thus, the pious king Yudhishthira, who was very fearful after the battle of Kurukshetra, pleased Lord Hari, the personality of Godhead. Yeah, we talked a little bit about this horse sacrifice thing, and somebody said that this is really the only place they see it. There's something obviously to that sacrificing something as kind of grand as a horse. And I
Right.
feel like there's more in there that we could probably read on to understand exactly what's happening here. But I think I get the picture. Um,
Yeah.
Yudhishthira, he wants to do everything he can to clear his karma, to
Mhm.
set everything up for basically this baby who will become you know, the descendant of his entire kingdom.
Yeah. Text 35. Lord Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, being invited to the sacrifices of Maharaja Yudhisthira, saw to it that they are performed by qualified, twice-born Brahmins. After that, for the pleasure of the relatives, the Lord remained a few months.
Tell me about what is the twice born thing again? Is
I
that
think it's just I think it's just people who have twice born, they were Brahmins in one lifetime and came back again as a Brahmin.
okay?
There might be more to it, that's just what I'm thinking.
Yeah, tell us in the comments if you know what they're talking about, this twice born thing. I think we've
Mhm.
talked about this before. Is there some maybe initiation, something, or I'm
Which
not
makes
sure.
sense. Yeah.
Maybe, who knows? Okay, so he sounds like he's gonna leave again. He remained a few months.
Yeah.
Text 36. O Sanaka, thereafter the Lord, having bade farewell to King Yudhishthir, Draupadi and other relatives, started for the city of Dwaraka, accompanied by Arjuna and the other members of the Yadu dynasty. So this is kind of even talking about referring
Before,
back to
right,
yeah,
because now we're going back to the birth of
right.
Brexit,
Okay. So
which
now
happened after the war.
right.
So we already saw um Krishna's departure, but this is
Right.
kind of jumping back a bit.
A little bit. And that is the end of chapter 12.
Oh, that came quick.
Ah, a lot. I mean, I feel like that was such an emotional section of um
I mean, the imagery,
reading
like
there.
just like the such vivid imagery, I had such a beautiful image in my head the whole time,
Yeah.
which helps like this just how this is written and how this is translated. Just being able to create those images in your mind, it really helps me to connect all the dots and to really like feel the emotions behind what's being expressed.
Yeah, same here. I I love everything that we're learning.
Yeah.
I love what we're being shown and I love the story that's being painted. So
Mm.
I think that we will quit here. However, before we get into another chapter, so thank you so much for being with us during chapter 10. What did we do? Chapter 11 and 12.
Yeah. Yeah.
And thank you for your likes and subscribing to our channel. Thank you so much for your comments. So, again, so appreciated. And anything else, Shay?
Hare Krishna. Please
Yeah,
share with a friend if you feel that they would benefit from hearing these divine words. And
yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. See you
Hare
next week.
Krishna.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.